Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
A 5-year-old boy remains in a Minneapolis hospital tonight as more details are coming to light surrounding that horrifying incident at the Mall of America where he was seriously injured. A 24-year-old Minneapolis man is accused of pushing the 5-year-old from the mall's 3rd floor this morning. And according to court records, the accused, Emmanuel Deshawn Aranda, had been banned from the Mall of America before. He was arrested in a previous incident after throwing things off the upper level of the mall, and another time for breaking glass in a store. Tonight, he stands charged with suspected attempted homicide. There's been a lot of talk about today's incident at the Mall of America. Here at home, parents are telling us it's situations like that that make them hover over their children like a helicopter. Valley News Team's Joshua Peguero explains.
For any parent is bearing witness to your child being seriously hurt. Case in point, Friday's incident at the Mall of America. Most of the parents that we spoke to on Friday after seeing this report said they'll now be paying more attention to their surroundings whenever they're out with their children.
Whenever I'm out with my kids, I try to keep them as close as possible.
Parents taking their kids to Courts Plus Community Fitness say the key to protecting your child is having situational awareness.
Just making sure when we drop off the kids and let him get off the car, we know that where they are all the time. So even just a couple of seconds.
But that poses a challenge for some who say it's not healthy to constantly monitor your child. You also want to give your kid space.
It's really sad, and it's never fun to learn the news and hear this stuff.
Jonathan Fermakis says seeing and hearing news about kids being hurt or threatened is exhausting.
I think there's a lot of big thing here too is just the mental stability of our nation as well.
He says if someone is struggling with mental health, they should go seek help. In Fargo, Joshua Peguero, Valley News Live.
Experts say that you should teach your children the importance of keeping a safe distance with you. If they cannot see you, they're not in a safe distance anymore. North Dakota Supreme Court has denied the appeal for a man serving life without parole for killing a West Fargo woman when he was 16 years old. Justices upheld a ruling that Barry Garcia was not entitled to a new trial for the gang-related shooting death of Cheryl Tendelin in 1995. The judge rejected Garcia's argument that he was entitled to a reduced sentence because of a state law that bans sentences for juveniles without the possibility of parole. Prosecutors countered that the law did not apply to Garcia because lawmakers intended it to apply for murder convictions after the bill was passed in 2017. A Clay County man pleaded guilty today for his role in a murder out of Hitterdal, Minnesota a year ago. Jason Jensen admitted to second-degree aiding and abetting murder in the death of Troy Yarbrough. The 40-year-old Jensen and his girlfriend, 34-year-old Kayla Westcott, were charged with killing the Wahpeton man at a farmstead last May. Jensen says Westcott picked up a cinder block and hit Yarbrough on the head, making him fall to the ground. He went on to say that Westcott later came back with an axe telling him to, quote, finish it. When Jensen said that he couldn't do it, he says Westcott took the axe and struck Yarbrough's chest. Jensen's plea agreement with the state equals out to around 38 years in prison. Formal sentencing will be in June. The Washburn man accused of murdering 4 people in Mandan will be in court in a month for his preliminary hearing. 44-year-old Chad Isaac is charged with 4 counts of murder following the killings at RJR Maintenance and Management on April 1st. Isaac is accused of killing the owner of the company and 3 employees. He's also charged with burglary, concealment within a vehicle, and unauthorized use of a vehicle. Isaac is being held on a $1 million cash bond. There's another story out of Mandan tonight, this one involving a man charged with reckless endangerment and terrorizing. The 72-year-old was accused of dousing a house with gasoline and threatening to burn it down with a woman and 1-year-old child inside. The arrest was made Wednesday night. Fire officials say any ignition source, including an electric furnace, could have started a fire given the amount of gas in the house. Court documents say that the man planned to burn down the house so that he wouldn't have any freeloaders. The woman told police that the man was intoxicated, went to his shed, and retrieved a container of gas that he poured in the house. No one was injured. It's time to take a look at this week's Valley's Most Wanted, and police say this man, 48-year-old Christopher Doss, is wanted for a probation violation on a controlled substance charge. You're urged to call your local law enforcement if you have any information on his whereabouts. Secret Service officers rushed to secure the White House this afternoon when a man set his clothes on fire just outside the gate. Smoke and medics treated the man, who looked unconscious at the time. The Secret Service says that he had been in what they describe a wheelchair-type scooter before lighting his jacket on fire. The man did not breach White House grounds, but camera crews were rushed in as the executive mansion was put on lockdown with the president inside. There's another flashpoint in the ongoing fight over illegal immigration. President Trump saying he's strongly considered a controversial plan to send detained migrants to cities that don't enforce federal immigration laws, cities run by some of his biggest political adversaries. Tonight, top Democrats are blasting it as retribution. White House correspondent Peter Alexander explains.
Hours after top officials within his administration insisted the proposal had been rejected, President Trump tonight is still threatening to bus migrants detained at the border into sanctuary cities.
I call them the illegals. They came across the border illegally. We'll bring them to sanctuary city areas and let that particular area take care of it.
In sanctuary cities, local authorities have refused to prosecute undocumented immigrants or hand them over for deportation, a policy embraced mainly in Democratic areas that has infuriated the president.
Want more people in their sanctuary cities? Well, we'll give them more people. We can give them a lot. We can give them an unlimited supply. They're always saying they have open arms. Let's see if they have open arms.
Among the cities the White House considered targeting, according to the Washington Post, New York, Chicago, and San Francisco, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's home district.
It's just another notion that is unworthy of the presidency of the United States and disrespectful of the challenges that we face as a country.
According to the Post, the White House pitched the idea at least twice in the last 6 months, as the president was condemning migrant caravans from Central America approaching the U.S. border. But overnight, administration officials dismissed the report, calling it a suggestion that was floated and rejected.
Officials also say the White House also wants to make it more difficult for immigrants to be approved for asylum, claiming approval rates are too high. Some health professionals are sounding the alarm after a new report says the number of kids going to the ER because of swallowing things like batteries has nearly doubled in recent years. Valley News Team's Melanie Palmer joins us with more on the findings. Melanie?
Mike, in 1 year, there was nearly 43,000 kids who visited the ER for swallowing a toy, coins, or batteries. That number is a huge increase from 1995, when about half of that number visited the ER for the same reasons. So why the jump? As you can probably guess, the newest and latest gadgets are playing a role. This study says remote-controlled toys, TV remotes, and digital thermometers have been the biggest culprits. And providers in the ER say it's the smaller button-sized batteries that kids are ingesting more of.
Study really highlights the need for increased vigilance in the home or anywhere that children are present.
We reached out to Sanford and Essentia here in Fargo to see if they have seen this sharp increase. A spokesperson with Essentia tells us providers have not seen a spike in cases here, and numbers have been pretty consistent through the year. They add kids have always swallowed things, and it's just a matter of what it is. Mike?
All right, thanks, Melanie. With 90% of these kids treated and sent home during these ER visits, severe internal injuries and deaths have been reported. Health professionals are urging parents to keep an eye on what your kids put in their mouths. Plans are in the works to pick up sandbags and other flood-fighting materials next week in Cass County. Officials say that they understand citizens want to begin the cleanup process as soon as possible. Also, if you're traveling on Cass County roads this weekend and see road closed signs, even after waters have receded, officials are urging you to stay off that road. They say the roads need to be inspected before the signs are removed. The snowstorm from yesterday is still lingering, leaving behind icy road conditions. Take a look at this. A viewer sent us this video east of Halstead on Highway 19. He tells us that no one was in the truck when he passed. And check this out. Authorities in central Minnesota say lightning struck a shed Thursday amid the thunder snowstorm, sending the building up in flames. The Isanti County Sheriff's Office tweeted the photos of the lightning damage that came from the mid-April snowstorm, showing the charred shed that's next to a tree that appears to have suffered a lightning strike. Sheriff's Department investigators say fire crews responded to the fire around 4:30 on Thursday. No injuries were reported.